Welcome everyone to the Urbanone 2018 show. I'm your host, Wayne Johnson, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me today. As we embark on this exciting journey together, I want to let you know that this show is all about you, the topics, the questions, and the ideas that matter most to you. So whether you're a curious mind looking to learn something new, a seasoned professional seeking a fresh perspective, or just someone who loves good conversation, you're in the right place. Each episode of the Urbanone 2018 show is designed to bring you a mix of thought-provoking interviews with some of the brightest minds in the industry. We'll explore the issues that are shaping our world today and uncover the trends that will shape our future. So sit back, relax, and let's dive right in. The Urbanone 2018 show is here to guide you through the complexities of modern life and help you make sense of the world around you. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get started.
Oh man, welcome to Urbanone 2018. I'm your host, Wayne Johnson. Special guest, Mr. Harold Dailey. Oh man, thank God for him being a part of another episode of the Urbanone 2018 talk show. And Lord, put your seatbelts on. You know, you got your money worth on that last interview. So we got some exciting questions we're going to be talking about today. Some things we're going to be talking about. Just want to give you a little insight on Mr. Harold Dailey. I mean, he's a native, born here in Atmore, Alabama. His family was raised here. I mean, school teacher. I mean, entrepreneur. He has a lot of great skill set. Communication skill sets, relational skill sets, and family man. I tell you, he's a guy and a person that you really need to get to know. And I'm so glad that he came to join us today on the interview. Him and my dad were great friends when my dad was living, and it's just an honor to have him on set today. Mr. Harold, look into that camera and introduce yourself to our audience.
I am Harold Dailey, and I was born, and some say I was half raised right here in Atmore, Alabama. But so far, I've weathered the storm, but the weather is still tough. So it's a pleasure for me to be here with Bishop Wayne Johnson, a young man I've been knowing since he first cried. And it's been a pleasure knowing him all through these years. And for some reason, he wants to question me about a few things. And I told him I can only tell him the truth and let him figure out the rest.
He can only tell the truth and let me and you figure out the rest. And man, that last interview, it was off the chain. It was so powerful, but yet so I don't know how to explain it, but yet it's still so simple, but yet still some of the simple things that we do in life are some of the most powerful things that we do in life. And so we picked his mind and his brain last week, and he came across with some questions and some things that what really blessed the community. And we're here today with another episode of some things that's really going to bless your life. It's going to be food for your soul. It's going to be some things that you can use to build your family, to give encouragement to our youth and to our community leaders. And I'm so grateful and so excited about starting this interview. Urbanone 2018. Mr. Harold Dailey. So let's get started. So we got 5 questions that we're going to ask. I'll go through the questions and then we'll come back with our first question and we'll get started with that interview. Like I say, hey, thank him for coming on to with us today. And so the question is, and we're going to ask him, what's his opinion? And why do you think there's so much violence today? Then why do you think there's so many denominations in religion today? And the third question was, why do you think that people give up on life when faced with adversities? And our fourth question is, what is your idea of a professional in an amateur or amateurism? And so our last question is this right here. That's really going to get you there. What are your thoughts? What are Mr. Dailey's thoughts on daylight saving time? That's going to be one that you're going to be waiting, and you're going to stay with us, and we'll get to that answer in a minute. So let's go to our first question. In your opinion, Mr. Dailey, what do you think? Why do you think there's so much violence in the world today?
For one thing, people don't get to know each other. Mm-hmm. If you get to really know what's in another person's heart, and it could be evil. Mm-hmm. But if you make an acquaintance with that person, maybe you can temper that evil, if not wipe it out altogether. Mm-hmm. But the most times when something like that happens, see, hatred is not an inborn process. It is a process that comes as the person lives.
Okay.
And you only react to what you're exposed to.
Come on.
When a person is born, his mind is like a blank sheet of paper.
Wow, come on.
And as he lives from day to day, this what's written on this paper comes from his everyday experiences. Wow. Now, if he never experiences anything but good teachings or whatever, that's all he's going to know.
Wow.
And then he can only exude what he knows.
Come on, you're right.
And that is why a little baby crawling around on the floor will go in the corner and pick up a rattlesnake, because he doesn't know the danger.
Oh, man.
You see?
I see.
You know, and so therefore, but if he's taught against doing such as that, then he won't do it because he'll know the consequences.
Right, I got you.
And even though I was, like I said, been in education quite a while, but the purpose of education is not to teach you what to think, it's to teach you how to think. You see, in the classroom, if I tell you, listen, when meat meets heat, meat loses. Now the thing about it, now you're supposed to take that knowledge, it goes to your brain.
Right,
So it's not the teacher's responsibility to follow you home and keep you from sticking your hand in that hot oil.
Oh, come on now.
You're supposed to know that because you've already been told that meat loses.
Meat loses.
So why would you go and do that? So you have to apply what you have been taught.
Wow.
And when it comes down to why people are so much violence and everything, you see, hatred. To me, hatred is like a struck match. When you first strike it, oh, that flame, it burns so bright. But all you have to do is hold that match stem, just hold it. And then the flame, it gets small and small and small. Right. And if you might need a little something else to hold on to it then, because it goes out. Right. And when it goes out, it's never to be struck or lit again. Wow. But it has consumed the vessel that kept it alive. So if it's in your heart, you're killing yourself carrying it around. Wow, it's going to consume you. Yeah. Burn your life up, burn your family up, burn your children up. That's how hatred does. Wow. It works. And it's passed on unknowingly. You have people who do name calling and all that. They pass that hatred on. So whoever you call, they might feel free to do it, call it to somebody else. Right. But when it comes to name calling, it's not so much about what you are called, it's what you answer to. Ooh. You see? It's what, and if you don't answer, it's like you never heard it. Wow. So the person who threw it at you, they miss. They're looking for a response. They're looking for a response. If you don't give them one, you just kill them on the spot. That's right. In these countries that are at war, the people of the countries are the ones losing their lives and everything. The leaders who got them in the war is sitting back. Right. They don't see the evil that they are bestowing upon other people. Because they don't know the people, so they have no attachment to them. Ooh. And they should be looking at each person as a decent human being. Yeah, come on now. They have no attachment to the person that's on the battlefield. And so when the person on the battlefield is being hurt and all the obstacles of life and war taking place, they just looking at the end results. And come on now. You pick up a newspaper, it says big house fire located at such street, where you know you live on another street. It doesn't bother you. You put that down. Well, that's tough and everything. But it said big house fire at has your address with it. Right. All of a sudden it means something. Yeah, you're right. Personal. You see? Yeah. So now I start thinking family, children, all the stuff I work for, things in the house, memorabilia, things that were personal, dad's picture, mom's picture, and wife. Is everybody okay? That's right. And if you get to know all these so-called enemies that you are destroying, if they become a part of your inner circle in your heart or whatever, and in your mind and all, we no longer need to fight. You hear people talking about, they fought like cats and dogs. Wait a minute. Don't put that burden on cats and dogs. When I was growing up, I had a dog named Sport, and a cat, his name was DC, but they grew up as a puppy and a kid. And they came up together. Now, we didn't have leash laws out in the country. Everybody's dog ran
Right,
higher.
yeah.
But if a dog came in there and jumped on DC, he had to fight sport.
Woo!
You see, because they were familiar, they knew each other, and they were right there.
And they grew up together.
And that dog that's walking by, he better keep walking.
That's right, because he's gonna be in
Jump on
trouble.
that cat, he's got a dog and a cat. I'm saying. So human beings don't think like that.
Right.
That's the
Wow. And so basically what he's trying to say is, well, I'm saying, sometimes we forget where we come from.
Exactly.
We lose sight on success and things that we accomplish in life. And we don't see the benefit of some of the stuff that we are teaching that's devastating. Like you said, that mat. But if you hold it long enough, it's going to burn you.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. And here it is. We light a lot of things and set a lot of fires in our life. And we think it never comes back. The chicken always comes back to roost in the evening time in that same tree. So whether you're gone, come on now, some of the stuff you done gonna drop down to your grandkids, your great grandkids, even though you gone, that match is gonna burn them sooner or later. And like you said, those the cats and the dog are fighting. He said, now if any dog come in here and attack that cat, come on now, he got trouble
fight on his hands
in a cat fight. Boy, that's some wisdom.
They raised together and they got to know each other. And human beings, why can't we get along like that?
Wow. That's a good point, people. Man, look here. Woo, woo. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Come on now, come on. Ooh, woo. What can you say? That's just some wisdom that's a blessing. I'm just thank God for that, man. God, that's awesome there, man. In your opinion, why do you think there's so much violence in the world today? And you got your money's worth. You got a good answer there. Come on now. We can use that to live day to day and be successful and pass that on to some more people. Tell them what you heard today. Let's go into our second question. Why do you think there are so many denominations in the religious circle and communities today?
Well, you can go from church to church, but basically you're going to hear the same message.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, I think about the common destination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you can have people listening to the same person. They'll hear the exact same thing, but they may interpret it different.
Here we go.
Now, for instance, okay, if you're sitting right there, and we have another person sitting right here.
Yes, sir.
All right, now I fix it where this person right here can't hear what I say to you, and then I turn and ask them. Now, if I tell you on the way here, I passed a bunch of ashes and smoke coming on the ground. There was a house there yesterday, and I tell you that house, it was burned completely up.
Yeah.
In your mind and in your heart, it's nothing left.
Right.
I turn over here where you can't hear, and I tell this person, I passed this burning house. That house was burned completely down. Now, up and down are two opposites. But in his mind, he knows there's nothing left.
There's nothing left. Yeah.
But I said a different thing to them,
yeah.
and a different thing to them.
Right.
But you got the same understanding.
Same understanding.
So you go to one church, you might go to another. You got the same message, but they don't look the same outside. Oh, I did this and I did that. But the message
is the same.
It's the same.
It's the same.
They might not say it in the same word.
Oh, come on.
And then you got some people say, well, I'm not going because I don't believe nothing I can't see. But he'll watch the wind blowing the trees, the leaves doing this and the other. Well, what do you think? Is the tree dancing to music or is the wind blowing? And if the wind is blowing, can you see it? You see? But you got all these kind of people,
right?
And see, you got really, we're not talking about different physical senses, but we have sense, we have common sense,
right?
We have book sense, and they are called street sense.
Right. Yeah.
But then you got one that if you let it, it'll cancel all the other three. I call nonsense.
No.
Yeah. And it will cancel.
It'll cancel out all the other three.
You see, so if you listen to a person, if you can't change his mind and you're right, let him go.
Yeah.
Because that person Anybody, especially like people who consider themselves above somebody else and everything,
Mm-hmm.
that's a person running through life, headed to a brick wall with his eyes shut, head down, and full of speed. That's what it is.
That's right. Because oh man, look at you. Listen, people, you get your money off that. He said that person is got his head down, eyes closed, running full speed
To a
ahead
brick wall.
into a brick wall. Because why? When you think that you don't need people in your life and you're above people, we were talking about that a minute ago. You set yourself up for failure because see, anybody can give you some insight. Like you was talking about the little baby, this is learned behavior, and God is saying to us, He said that He come to give us life and give it to us more abundantly. So, sometimes the Holy Spirit is going to use whatever means necessary to speak to your heart. So you can't cancel God out when somebody gonna come up and say something to you that will transform your life, change you, and give you a different outlook on life. And so that's what Ms. Dailey said. He said, now what denominations are preaching the same thing. But like he said, some people don't believe, but he said, hey man, the wind, you can't see it. It's blowing the trees, it's blowing the leaves. And so what he's saying is today, the message is true. And it's still the same. It's been the same since I've been here. It's the same before I came. Jesus Christ and Him what? Crucified. And so what he's trying to say, let that word resonate in your heart, and then you get clarity. When clarity comes in your heart, it clears up your eyesight. So you can begin to see that it ain't about you, it's about the message and the messenger. Right. Jesus did all the work. And so here it is. If you let Him come into your heart, the same message, do you believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God? Same message. Believe that message. And that's where the change comes in. And that's what I believe he's saying. Because you'll stop looking down and you'll begin to look up and realize, Lord, I thank you for this life you've given me. I thank you for my family. I thank you for the time you've given me. I thank you for mama, daddy, brother, sister. And I thank you for them. What you said, them two? What name of them two? That cat and the dog you said?
DT and Sport.
DT and Sport. Because look here, I thank you for DT and Sport. Because why? Why? Because see, it's the simple things in life sometimes that we begin to miss and forget. That lifestyle that we were brought up in. Man, we brought up in a country environment, like he said, to love people, to respect people. You may not like him, but respect what's being brought to you. So what? You can learn to train your children and people in your circle to respect each other. And that's what he said. His respect goes a long way. Let's go into our third question. Why do you think that people give up on life when faced with adversities?
Well, a lot of people they see success as an instant kind of thing. And if they don't grab it right then, they give up because they don't want to fight the long haul.
Oh, come on now.
You see, I remember coming up, we used to go to these creeks to swim, or whatever. And that was a guy with us, he came and he would go out there, but he was scared to get into the water. He said, y'all can swim, but man, I just can't. I tried. Well, his name wasn't Peter, but he doubted that he would ever learn. He doubted that he would ever learn to swim. And so all of us got in, the four of us got in, and we swam all the way across to the other bank. He's still over there. And he wanted to come. He said, man, I said, just jump in, swim as far as you can, and we'll come and get you. But we were really trying to, it was kind of stupid on us too. We were really trying to get him to come in. We knew he would probably swim and make it across. He swam halfway, and he said, man, I just can't make it. So he swam, turned around, swimming, and went back to the bank where he came off. Where he was halfway.
You could have swum all the way across.
He had to do the same distance to get back to where he was.
Oh, boy, you're right. Come on
you
now.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So when he climbed out on the bank that he jumped from, he said, see, I told y'all I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And all he had to do was keep pushing.
Keep pushing.
But he did.
Turn around. Got halfway, turn around.
Turn around. If you're halfway, it's still halfway to go back. All you got to do is keep going.
All you got to do is keep going.
And see, I always looked at life is like walking on fog. You wake up early one morning, you open the door, you see 20 feet in front of you. Well, you want to go to town. Well, I can't make it because I can't see any further than right there. But if you walk those 20 feet, you'll see 20 more.
Come on.
You got to keep on going.
You got to keep on going.
You see, so when people have doubt in their mind that they can't do something,
Wow.
that's the first step toward defeating them when they try to do.
Wow.
You got to believe.
Got to believe.
And if you don't, you have setting yourself up to fail.
Wow. You got
And
to believe.
you got to believe. You know, just like
Go ahead.
counting. When you're in class, I thought about this a long time. If you make a 90 to 100, they give you an A.
Right.
All right. But there is no A in the written term for a number.
Yeah.
Like when you start from 1, you count all the way to 100.
Yeah. Okay.
You won't see an A and not in one number.
number.
But they use an A for this. Now, once you get to 100, you got to say 101. Then you got an A right there, but it's not a part of the number. It's just 100 and 1. So why are you going to use a letter that's not even in the number, but you're going to use that letter to define perfection at the end? But that's the human thing doing that.
Yeah. Great. You're on putting you in a category or a group.
That's right.
Through a letter. Yeah.
That's right. But if you get on a ladder and climb and reach the roof of the house, the same person, he's standing on the ground now, but that means he's not the F person. He can climb that same ladder you are.
Oh, come on and be an A person.
So it's all in the way people
see it. And the people in your circle that's training you. So somebody got to show. If you see somebody climb the ladder, even though you like to say you're on the ground with an F position, if you see somebody climb the ladder, hey, I can do that too.
Do the same.
Come on now. And then this person that had climbed the ladder before, they say, well, hold on. When you get halfway, the ladder gonna shake a little bit, and so he's giving you instructions. So when that happens, you already know you're still on the right course. So just keep on going.
Exactly.
Keep on going. Keep on going. Like you said, the guy he swam halfway and got afraid of what his fear stopped him from being successful in life. Exactly. And man, I'm telling you, that fear is a powerful tool that cripples a lot of people, man.
It sure does. And when I was talking about book sense and common sense or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if you stand out on the ground and look up in the sky in the winter, you'll see these geese heading south for the winter.
Yeah.
Flying in a V shape.
Yeah.
Now they're not flying in that V shape because they read the alphabet and said, let's fly in a V. And now children, listen to me. No. And if you could watch them long enough, you'll see that lead goose will swap and pull back, and they'll swap around, and you take turns.
Right.
That didn't come from a book.
Oh my Lord.
That's a born-in common sense thing given by their creator. Woo! See, that's how they can come from Canada and fly all the way to Florida.
GPS.
Built in
GPS.
They don't get lost. You don't see one with a GPS. You don't see one with a road map. But they're gonna land same way when the swallows go back to Capistrano down in South.
Oh Lord,
same
thing.
So we got to use what was given to us as a gift from God to do whatever.
Just like the geese.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, when that lead geese, when he go up there, I don't know, he knows what time, and he give that signal. Exactly. They automatically know he'll drop out another one, pull forward.
And the reason they do that is because of the wind lift. See,
they use the current
one. Yes, and the lead one, he fights the headwind first. Yeah. But they take turns. They're not selfish like a human being. Yeah. Get out my yard. I don't care if it is a shortcut.
Yeah.
That's what a human being might tell.
Boy,
you see,
I got you. I feel you.
Make it a little difficult.
Make it a little difficult.
But they want to help each other.
They're always working as a team.
That's right.
Unified to obtain that goal. We all going south.
That's right.
And so if we pull together, we won't have to fight the wind of adversity. God has given us a GPS, and he's showing us. He said, if we hit this thing head on, the force of the wind. It's not the heavy force. Come on now. It goes to the right and goes to the left. Exactly. It's sort of like an 18-wheeler. You know these 18-wheelers that got that little flap underneath there?
Keep the wind keeps it out, and that's why the windshields are shaped back like that. You don't want blunt force with the wind.
Yeah.
It shapes back.
Yeah, you want,
and they'll have that curve cover over the top.
Come on,
Because
now.
it puts-
Come on. And sometimes we need to put a curve in our thinking to know that if God has put us here to accomplish some things, why are we letting the opinion of my mind and things that we hear and fear stop us from being successful? Don't you
Yes.
know your little son is watching you, your daughter is watching you, and the thing that you let stumble in your life is going to be a stumbling block in their life because they might not feel that they can overcome because I didn't see dad or mama overcome. And like you said, sometimes you just got to get out there and face the wind and have enough confidence that if you get in a turbulent situation, I'm quite sure you can, when it get too heavy on you, like the geese, you can pull out and let somebody else. Come on now, go get some advice from somebody that can help you make it to your destination. Like the guy swimming across there, he said he looked up and saw, I can't do it. But like you said, it took just as much effort to swim and go back. Because the same current that he faced going up there is the same current he got to face going back across. Man, y'all getting your money worth today? Mr. Harold Dailey, a native of Atmore, Alabama, born and raised somewhere around here in Sunset Drive. Come on now. Let's go to our fourth question. What is the ideal of a professional and an amateur or amoris? I can't pronounce that right. Yeah, or amateur.
Well, a professional person is a person trained to do a certain job. And so once you master whatever it is you've been trained to do, then they classify you as a professional. Okay, an amateur is a person who may be doing that same job, but he has not been trained, nor has he probably may not have ever done it before.
Wow.
But the one who has the experience and the knowledge and everything. But now, if you're the type person who believes that because somebody tells you they are a professional, but you haven't seen their work, you just assume to be hiring an amateur. Now, to give you an example, one that you are more familiar with perhaps than I am, back in the early 1900s, there was a ship called the Titanic.
Yeah.
Supposed to have been built to weather all the storms, anything they had out there.
Yeah.
Sunk on the maiden voyage, hit an iceberg.
Right.
People never got a chance to reach the shore,
except
those who were rescued by lifeboats or whatever. But the ship itself, that's right. Take the ark. How many arks had Noah built?
No.
The Titanic was built by professionals, welding torches, goggles. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Professional.
And
if you walk up to a brother, you want to be on the ark, you will hit the Titanic. Everybody, oh, the Titanic. First day on, boom, down to the bottom. 40 days and 40 nights.
The ark still.
They said they found remnants on Mount Ararat. I don't know.
That's right.
That's what they said. That's what they said. I was made to read the Bible at an early age, but I'm just saying. When somebody tells you a professional, look at their work.
Right. Look at their work. Wow, boy, that's awesome there. Man, which one you want to be on? You had a choice to be on the ark or the Titanic. And most people would have chose the Titanic.
Oh, that luxury.
Ooh, fine. But when it came to the difficulty, when it came to adversity, when it came to something that they didn't see, the iceberg, and they ran into it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Sometimes we run into stuff in life like that. But I'm trying to tell you, if God made and gave Noah the instructions for the ark, and like he said, man-made professionals came together and built the Titanic.
Exactly.
And they say it would weather any environment. And God told Noah, he said, come on now, 120 years. Sometimes you got to be patient in life in order to get to your goal. So you'll be able to ride the storms of life, 40 days or 40 nights or for whatever time that it takes for the storm that you're in that's trying to consume you. If you would just begin to trust some of the things that you heard when you were coming up, some of them old hymns that Mama and like Mr. Dailey said that when he was coming up, one of his things he read the Bible. So here it is, some of those bedrocks, some of those things that he's talking about. That when God builds your life, when He gives you some instruction and like He gave Noah to build that ark for the saving of all the 8 souls and all the animals. It's amazing how the animals heard God and came on board and the people wouldn't.
But they were His creations too.
Oh my.
So they gotta understand. If you notice, look how robins only show up at certain times of the year.
Yeah, they show the blue. Yeah, come on.
They're coming. And we used to be out there when we were growing up. We had bluebirds all lined along. Mm-hmm. You don't see them anymore because of the pesticides.
Right, and the blackbirds. Yeah, there would be flocks so many, it'd be thousands of them.
Exactly.
The robins.
But that's a man-made destructive thing. They call it helping the production of crops. But that DDT that they used to spray, it was doing more than just killing the insects that attack the. I mean, it was killing more than the boll weevil and the corn beetle and all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah.
It was killing what we wanted to keep alive.
Right, yeah.
So
because the birds were eating the worms and they were eating the insects, and the same thing that you poisoned was the food for the birds, and now we don't see them in that magnitude anymore. We don't see them. I saw a few in the yard the other day. You see them come in a little bit, and I saw a blue jay the other day. And I was like, man, I said we don't see that much.
And it used to be just everywhere.
Flourishing everywhere. So life will take you down the road. And like Mr. Dailey said, hallelujah, come on now. You got to be able to endure the storms of life. And he talked about the difference between a professional and an amateur. You need to know who you're dealing with. You need to know if you had a choice, would you choose the Ark or would you choose the Titanic? And so in life, God has given us a choice. He's asking you, hey, let's since you said that, when they had Jesus on trial, this is what they asked Jesus. They asked him, he said, do you want Jesus or Barabbas? So you said, here we go. You're still making a choice. And so sometimes, Mr. Dailey said, he said, man, I read the Bible when I was coming up.
I was made to. I don't remember. Since I could walk or however we got to church. Until I turned 18, I don't hardly remember a Sunday unless I was going to church somewhere else.
Yeah, that was a demand. That wasn't something that you just decided. Well, I ain't going to church. If you were in that house, it was mandatory.
That's right. And then another thing, they tell you if you didn't go to church, you didn't go anywhere else. And if you did go somewhere else, you couldn't sit down wherever you went.
Miss Lily Jones, I interviewed her. That's what she told me. Said, if you play hooker, then go to church on Sunday. He said you went up and asked Mama, "Could I go somewhere?" No, you didn't go to church.
Lily was my neighbor. And what one mother or father said, it went for everybody.
The whole community.
That's right.
And so listen to this, people. This is wisdom. So when you bring that back, when we go back to the old landmark, when we go back to the things like the Ark, see God and see, come on now, the generation that you're looking at now, we were raised with the Word of God. And it has blessed us and empowered us to be who we are today. And man, I'm just telling you, oh man, God, brother. That last interview, but this one here is great too. So let's go into our last question here. And this one, I'm just waiting for what he's gonna say on this one here. And the last one is, what are your thoughts about daylight saving time?
Okay, I've been thinking about that because every year, you have some people say, I sure hate when the time change. Then you have somebody, I'll be glad when the time change.
Yeah.
And what I think it is, it's misnamed. It's called a misnomer because there's no real such thing as daylight saving time. Because any time you save something, you can put it where you can go and get it again. You can't save time. You tell me where you keep it. If you saving time. Show me where it added anything to how long you were going to live and breathe. You see what I'm saying? So the time is going to remain the same. Change your clock all you want to.
Oh, come on now. Come on.
But then you have not saved time.
Wow,
you changed your clock. You did not extend your breath, not one more breath while you're here.
Well, come on now.
So when it comes to daylight saving time, you just look at it as time. The other thing is just a mind thing.
Oh, come on.
You see?
That's good.
Because the sun is going to shine the next day just like it did yesterday.
Wow.
And the only reason why it seems to be changing is because of the rotation of the earth and change, you know, but you have people say the sun is going to rise. Sun is stationary.
Come on now.
But the earth
is
rotating on its
axis.
That's why I don't understand why people want to drop nuclear bombs. The bomb, you drop the nuclear bomb on one place. And as the old time TV show said, and as the world turns, you're going to breathe in some of what you thought you were putting up somebody else's nose.
Like you tell me about all them cows eating the same grass.
That's right. But mankind does not seem to understand and develop a true appreciation of what they have here.
Right.
They, as I said, wicked and wiser, they become as they exist, you see.
Right, yeah.
And the thing about that is, until they learn the true meaning of, see, they think love is, oh, you're all right. You're all right with me. And this and that. But you got people, they don't keep their word.
Oh, man.
And I've always heard if your word is no good, your signature is no good either.
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah, right.
You see, and so you just in a place sometimes where you think, when will people learn?
Wow. Yeah, you're right, man. You're right.
When
will people learn? Time.
Time, that's right.
Time.
And of course, when I was younger, I could afford to kill time, but now time is killing me. So turnabout is fair play. Back in the day, people used to take a watch and see my watch. They shake it, put it to the ear, see if it's running.
Yeah.
And when you get real old, your calendar be making sound. So
it's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off, exactly.
Nothing new underneath the soil. It's just the same.
You got people holler about, well, somebody invented this, somebody invented. No, everything was here all the time. But what they did, they took things and put it together to make it operate as one or whatever. Right. You didn't invent anything. There's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
It's ingredients that you put together to make it be, but everything was right there all the time.
You just discovered how to put it together. That's right.
That's okay.
And yeah, you're so true about that, because I was telling my wife, they was talking about different things that's going on, these agendas and all of that, children, not understanding who they are. I was telling them, I said, well, God has said it's been like that all the time.
Exactly.
People, God give us all a choice. He said, choose this day. And so the choice you make determine your resting place. And when your time is finished up on this earth, he talks about what are your thoughts on daylight saving time? What about your thoughts about saving the time of eternity that you're going to have after this life, this physical life that we're living? And so he said, come on now, daylight saving time. He said the only thing changing is the clock. So that means a thought in your mind. So where are we going from here to there? And so, man, let me tell you something. Come on. It's been a great interview. Let's go back through our question one more time, because this has been great. We asked Mr. Dailey what he thought about how much violence in the world today. Gave us a good thought on that. Why do you think there are so many denominations in the religious world and in our communities and cities? Great answer on that. He said, why do you think that people give up on life when they face adversities? And he talks about the guy that was swimming, went to the creek. He had to fight the current to go halfway. And then when he looked, and his mind was telling him, you can't make it. And I just come to tell you, the same effort you took to get halfway, he got to swim and fight the same current, because if he didn't, it would have took him straight down from his entry point. And so here it is. And he said, what are your ideas and thought about a professional and an amateur? And he gave us a great definition on that. And the last one, what did he talk about? Daylight saving time. Come on now. Time never changes, but you reset your clock. But the earth keep rotating because God put it in place. And I'm trying to tell you, success is in where we come from. If God was with us, and Brother Dailey said, we were what? It was a must in our homes to read the Bible and to go to church. Parents, let me tell you something. Return back to those old landmarks. Those markers will change us and bring the atmosphere, the community that we love. Our children will stop fighting each other, just what he said. Come on now, because when we know each other, we treat each other with respect. When I like you said, everybody at Sunset Drive, we grew up together out there. The Daileys, the Tuckers, the Johnsons, the Watson, and come on now, and Mr. David Brooks, you know, Mr. David Brooks. One time I almost ran on Mr. David Brooks. Mr. David Brooks started chasing me. I said, Lord have mercy. He finally turned around. I'm like, oh Lord, he's finna get me. And it goes on. But anyway, these are people that were solid in the community, and they looked out for each other. And that's what Mr. Dailey is saying today. All the topics that they talked about, he said, let's get back to respecting each other, knowing each other, and we'll stop downing each other, and we'll know that just what he said. He said they shoot a nuclear bomb and it hit anywhere on earth, everybody gonna breathe in the same air. Radiate. They all gonna have that same air that you thought wouldn't affect you. In a little bit,
the wind from
you're gonna self-destruct and destroy yourself. And that's why we looking for Atmo it's some good things gonna happen here. And so that's why Mr. Dailey is so vitally important. I thank him for his time. Mr. Dailey, I thank you for the
I want to leave you with just one thought.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You are retired now, and I have retired since, well, I should have been since 99, but I thought it was, but I went back into the school stuff. But listen at this right here, to all of those who are looking and listening.
Yeah.
When you retire, don't ever try doing nothing, because that will be the hardest job you've ever done, because you can't stop and rest. If you do nothing, you can't stop and rest.
Because if you're doing nothing, you can't never stop and rest, because you ain't doing nothing.
That's right. So keep doing something.
Golly. Do something. If you don't do nothing, you can't stop and rest. You can't stop and rest. Woo, you got it here. Urban One 2018 Talk Show. I'm your host, Wayne Johnson. Special guest, Mr. Harold Dailey. And so we thank you for this episode, and join us. We will be coming back with a follow-up. God bless you, and thank you for joining us today. And until next time, it's been a pleasure. Yeah. May God's richest blessings be upon your life. And thank you for joining us today. God bless you. Take care.
Welcome to the Urban One 2018 show with your host, Wayne Johnson, the talk show dedicated to uplifting and motivating individuals from all walks of life. Each week, we have the privilege of hosting incredible guests who provide incredible insights on a diverse range of topics. From local influencers to esteemed regional and national figures, they will share their experiences and wisdom to ignite positive change in our community. Get ready for another captivating episode of the Urban One 2018 show with your host, Wayne Johnson. Let's embark on this journey of inspiration together.